Okay. Finally we can enter. At last, I am able to speak with the accused and hear her version of events. I still have a number of questions. Perhaps she may hold the answers. Well, she definitely holds at least some of the answers. Can I check the area? Or do I need to talk to her before we can do anything in here? Stop whining. Okay.
Mademoiselle Florette, I presume.
Please, officer. I did nothing wrong. You can't take me away.
Not yet.
Please relax, my dear. If you have done nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about. But it is my duty to investigate all avenues. Ah bon?
Relax. So you don't think I took the bracelet?
Not yet, at least.
As of this moment, I cannot say. But answering my questions honestly will certainly help your case either way.
You are accused. Why don't you begin by giving me your account of this morning?
I didn't even know it was missing till I got accused of taking it. Madame was so angry. She wouldn't listen to me.
Makes sense.
There must be some reasoning behind her accusation.
How could I have taken it? I've been in town most of the morning. I was even late coming back. Then I was preparing breakfast.
Too much to do. What exactly were you tasked with this morning?
Rihanna the cook is away, so I had to fetch breakfast for the house and prepare it all myself. How does she expect me to do that all on my own?
No idea.
From what I understand of Madame van den Bosch, she would not have been best pleased you returned late for breakfast.
Not best pleased? I thought she was going to batter me to death with a baguette. I hid in the kitchen and then tried to stay out of sight in the lounge until breakfast was over. Didn't want to put my head near her jaws while she was still hungry.
Batter death with the baguette. Well, that would be an interesting murder scene. Okay.
Perhaps a brave move under the circumstances. And you did not go upstairs at all.
Madame was singeing a hole in the back of my apron with her glare. I daren't have moved. I was too scared to blink the wrong way. Never mind stamping upstairs.
She sounds like a funny person. That Cassandra, in this morning's rain, I assume you'd have hurried your duties.
I must just be slow, monsieur. My mother always said I moved like the snail. Maybe I was just happy to be out of the house.
Maybe, yes. I struggle to believe you would risk catching a cold in such conditions for a little fresh air. Perhaps you were overcome by volume of the tasks at hand. I'll say this because, yeah, she's afraid about the madam, so yeah.
Now I am being accused of avoiding my duties? Mais enfin!
No. Okay, so she...
Merci. I shall take everything you have told me into consideration.
So I don't know if you can lock yourself out certain conversation with when you're making choices on the conversation. Probably you can. But let's see. New mind map unlocked. Now that I have finally met a young word, I should work to ascertain her innocence or guilt. Being crying, understandable after how she has been treated by Madame today. She must have been out of the house battling the rain before there was even a second stir. Wait, what? Before there was even a second. Okay. With so much to do this morning, I would have expected her to have been more focused on the time. Florette claims to be innocent of her accused crime. I will assume her blunt demeanor has come from what has happened today, okay? I believe this room is used by family and quests. Perhaps we shall find something useful here. So yes, we need to... Yeah. Yeah, it seems like that you need to do different things before you can continue checking. So when you fill out mind map, you probably unlock new thingies. A slip of collecting a garment from Goosens and Company tailors in town, dated today. Customers E-Patchet, please bring this receipt with you when you come to collect your garments. The requested alteration of 1 mended sleeve, torn shoulder, 1 replaced button, middle breast, 1 inline tear, right breast pocket, will be completed by end of day Monday, available for collection Tuesday. Okay. Wine bottle. I wonder who the wine connoisseur of the house is. A vintage like this would fetch a quite price. More paintings. A note. Make a note of it. To receive such a note of devotion and love must be a delight sign from Luke. To whom is his love, I wonder? My love, it is an obligation that has taken me away from you, but it is my heart that will keep us together. My aunt is in much better health. Rest and some company has done her wonders. I hope to return to you and my duties at the house in a matter of days. Until then, keep well and know that you are always in my thoughts, now and forever. Luke, Jean-Luc. Maybe Luke and Elizabeth. Okay, we have a newspaper, a letter, another one, note and letter. I do not always agree with the telephone companies and their charges, but ignoring the bills will not make them disappear. Yeah, I've noticed. Dear Madam, despite our best efforts to contact you regarding your account, we have not received any response from the previous correspondence. With that in mind, you are being served a formal notice of 30 days from today to make full payment on the outstanding balance, or we will be forced to revoke your service. If you would like to discuss the matter or have any further questions, please contact us immediately. Regard, Mr. Beaumont, Bell Telephone Company. Definitely money problems. Ah, poker stand. A poker stand without a 5 poker is rather useless in my opinion. Where could it be? A stray 5 poker shouldn't be too hard to find. Come, my little grey cells, let us get to the bottom of this mystery. We already know it's upstairs. Collection of pastries. Food. I could spend my morning in front of Mrs. Aubert's boulangerie, taking in the smell. Wet parcel. Interesting, yes. A red parcel completely soaked through. I hope it has not ruined the contents. Can I check the contents? No. And what is this? A personalized handkerchief. The initial EP suggests this is Elizabeth's. A nasty black soot smudge is apparent. Why would such a delicate item be used on such stubborn stain? Elizabeth, you had been on the room doing some... Maybe there's something inside the fireplace. Okay, now can we connect anything? There's something to connect here. Okay, final demand and telephone.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I am not surprised the telephone does not work. One cannot just ignore financial responsibilities. Telephone, okay, so financial responsibilities ignored. There's something I can connect at the moment. I believe this room is used by family, yes. Spare key. Can I connect selling heirlooms to finances responsibilities?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Yeah, it's a moment of genius. The family must be in a far worse position than I thought. I wonder if such desperation led to drastic actions. There's always a possibility. Cassandra is desperate for money. And we can connect this probably to valuables are insured.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
It cannot be coincidence that what is not being sold has been recently insured. And we need to talk to Cassandra. There's more to Madame Van den Bosch's accusation of Florette than it seems. A young maid would make for the perfect scapegoat, and with such coincidental timing insuring the bracelet, there are still questions to be asked. Yes. Yes. Okay. But, investigate crime scene. There's something here, yes. Personalized handkerchief. Fallen suit. Can I connect these? Because there's suit on...
This will not get me any closer.
Okay, no. Can I see them? Poker then. Something's missing. Actually, replace the photograph. Open jewelry box. Abandoned poker.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
So I needed to connect the cleaning rack, not the suit. Okay. Perhaps the handkerchief was used to clean up what the rack did not. Talk to Elizabeth. Insufficient cleanup. Okay, what do we have here? Largely untouched, unless they plan to on eating these for every meal. There is more than enough for those in the house. I could, yes, and recently purchased from local boulangerie. Abandoned poker stand, wine bottle, personalized handkerchief. This is under abandoned poker and poker stand.
Magnifique.
That was the... It seems Angeli may have been the last one to use this. Oh. Poker was moved, yes. Final demand, collection slip, note from Luke, address, wet parcel, formal suit. Amended mail suit is inside. A great deal of effort has been put into restoring it. Perhaps it's a sentimental value, perhaps. Florette was dawdling. Florette claims innocence. Florette got breakfast. There is something I can still connect. Maybe it's connected to address label.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
It seems someone collected this by hand. Who, I wonder? We have something to connect. Parcel was collected from tailors. Maybe dawdling and parcel was collected.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Elizabeth must have requested Florette's assistance this morning, causing her to run late. I doubt Madame was happy about this. Yeah, because I don't think Florette would dawdle just because she is afraid of Cassandra, so she was helping somebody, and it's apparently Elizabeth who she was helping, making her to be late. Now, what do we have here? Talk to Elizabeth and Florette. So now we have... We have connected everything. Talk to Cassandra, Elizabeth, and Floret. Okay. We are here. Talk to her.
Anything to show you I didn't do it. And Madame, I need this job, monsieur.
I bet you do. Was it you who collected the parcel this morning?
Yes. Another thing on my to-do list. I'm afraid it's not in the same condition as when I picked it up.
Okay.
At whose request?
It was a favor for Lizzie. I didn't mind having to get it.
Okay. So you help Lizzie.
Merci. I shall take everything you have told me into consideration.
And now we're done in here. For now. Let's go and talk. Well, I might as well talk to Cassandra because it's on the way.
Really, officer, you are wasting both your time and mine.
Questions with exclamation icon indicate that a dialogue challenge is available for this character. Choose the question marked with the... Okay, this is interesting. Push on information regarding finances.
If you have something to ask, officer, I suggest you stop wasting my time further and just get on with it.
Okay, so... Okay. From here, pay attention to the questions marked with the hammer and shield as you make your choices. Depending on how you approach Cassandra, you may or may not be able to extract new evidence from her. I have already seen and heard how hot-tempered Madame Van den Bosch can be. I should approach this some sensitivity. Understanding. My apologies, madam. I was merely thinking about what Floret has done to your family. Direct pardon. I'm just considering all avenues. There is much for me to contemplate. I'll go with the understanding.
And this is how she repays me? I will not be happy until I see her sufficiently punished.
I think that worked. I'm grateful for your vigilance, but it's time for the proper authorities to decide her fate. I can understand your anger. Her actions broke your trust and have affected you all. Her punishment should be decided according to law, not by the lady of the house. I go with the empathetic.
I am glad you have finally come to your senses and have seen her guilt.
Forward. I could not help noticing the art being sent to the auctioneers and the unpaid bills. Inquisitive, since the death of your husband, have you struggled to keep the house in position it was? Sympathetic. It must be difficult raising Mademoiselle Angeline and running... I don't know why I did that. Running the house alone. Let's go with some sympathetic.
It is challenging at times, I will admit. But I can assure you the Van den Bosch name is as strong and prevalent as it has always been. I have tried my best to provide for Angeline, although sometimes she may not see it that way. She is not to know about what we have discussed. It is my burden to carry.
Okay.
You are accepting the hand you have been dealt and raising a fine young mademoiselle. That is all that can be asked of you.
And you have done nothing but bother my staff and my family. I cannot stand here any longer and listen to this second-rate officer speaking such drivel.
Really? Offers me the smallest slither of emotion, showing how she cares for her daughter. Before she makes haste for the door, is it out of embarrassment or perhaps there is something she's still trying to hide? I think it's perhaps time to continue my investigation elsewhere. Congratulations, you broke down Cassandra's defenses and obtained some new evidence. In this case, it seems like you really hit the nerve with Cassandra. Yes, we did. We need to talk to Elizabeth and Floret. Let's see. Do we have this? Okay, we got these. Angelina's father, secrets. Although she may only be young, it is obvious she has a mind of her own and is not afraid to speak it. Her life of wealth and worry for nothing has given her a sense of entitlement that I hope will not impede my investigation. Van den Bosch, not Van der. Master key, desperate for money, widowed, well, yes. Viscount Edwin van den Bosch had sadly passed away, but no secrets then. And Elizabeth Batchet, facts reported theft, and Floret was running an errand for Elizabeth. And Floret Duval, coming from a poor working-class background, it is obvious that young Floret works hard to be able to provide for her mother and young brothers at home. What she lacks in education, I believe she more than makes up for in street smarts and enthusiasm to impress. And Floret confirmed collection. Floret got breakfast. Facts about this character. Okay. So let's go and talk to Elisabetta. I don't know why I'm talking about Elisabetta. Too much Dracula, I think. Hello.
Certainly, officer.
Certainly. Can you tell me about package in the lounge? You don't, by chance, happen to be missing initial handkerchief. Does Madame Van den Bosch have a bit making such quick assumption? Let's start with the handkerchief.
Why, yes, officer. I misplaced it after wiping a stain from Mademoiselle Angelieve's sleeve at breakfast. You are a great detective.
If that is honest answer, Angeline has something to say about herself.
You are not the first to say. Had she not noticed it herself, I imagine Madame would not allow even the smallest imperfection.
It baffles me how she couldn't have. It was only luck that I spotted it before Madame, and a good thing I did.
Maybe she was in a hurry. Can you tell me about the package?
The lounge? A package?
Come on.
Oui, it is quite hard to miss.
Oh, how silly of me. I must have had my head in the clouds this morning. I'm sorry, I can't help you further.
Right. Besides the obvious, was there anything unusual about this morning? Yes.
Besides the terrible rain? No. I woke, began my duties with Mademoiselle. I had already laid out a clean dress. I helped her into it, and prepared her for the day before getting started on tidying her room as neat as a pin.
Okay.
And the bracelet was still there when you left the room for breakfast?
I am sure of it. I had it down before Mademoiselle Angeline.
So basically Angeline is the last one who sold the bracelet. Okay. Van den Bosch have a habit of making such quick assumptions.
Madame is under a great deal of strain. It can't have been easy for her to lose her husband, raising Mademoiselle alone. She can be quick to anger.
I bet, and I know.
And this morning, it sounds as though it was such an occasion.
It's not the first time I have had to stand and watch such treatment. I hate to see it. As I said, Madame hasn't had the easiest time.
You said it wasn't the first time Madame Van den Bosch has lost her temper with Floret.
Madame's scolding of Floret this morning was the worst I have seen her temper. I wish you could see that Floret is just trying to do her best.
Yes.
Could there have been another reason for such a reaction?
Madame was not happy Floret was late. All through breakfast, Madame was watching her with a piercing eye. But she's still learning the way.
Okay.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your assistance has been invaluable.
A new mind map. Mademoiselle Elizabeth was reluctant to acknowledge the parcel that caused young Floret to be so late. Could there be something behind her avoidance of the subject? If there is a reason, I must establish what it is. Well, obviously she's in love with Luke, and she's doing favors with Luke, and because Mademoiselle Cassandra does not enjoy that the workers are romantically involved, she is hiding it. Formal suit, note from Luke, card and bench carving, and let's connect this.
What a revelation!
The carving acts as a subtle and private reminder for them both. Yes, they are courting. The carving actor, yes, and cold band. Ah.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Perhaps the relationship is more serious than I first deduced. I wonder what Madame would say. She wouldn't enjoy that one bit. Oh, wrong button. Anything else we can do? We can connect something in here. Cassandra watched Floret after she returned. Cassandra previously mistreated Floret. Poker was moved. Floret has been crying. Cassandra watched Floret after she mistreated. Maybe?
I must act
Nope.
on thought and fact.
Wait, what does it mean? I would certainly not want her watching me so intently. Would Floret attempt to cry under such scrutiny? Oh right, yes, the Cassadras are watching like a hawk. Do I connect these?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
So Floret was running an errand and Cassandra, yes. As she was constantly busy and under the watchful eye of Madame, Floret lacked the opportunity to take her the bracelet. Why would Madame accuse her? That is a good question. Basically, there are only two persons at the moment, if we are thinking that Cassandra didn't do anything. So it's either Angelina or Elizabeth, and it's starting to seem like Elizabeth. Floret had no opportunity, as she was constantly busy. Yes, we still have something to connect. Do I connect Cassandra previously mistreated with accused?
Is there
No.
something I am not seeing?
Okay. Collection. Elizabeth denied knowledge of the puzzle. Okay. Largely untouched. Tell to Elizabeth. Oh, I have talked.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Oh, okay. So no. Can I connect these?
I must take
Nope.
a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Let's see. One back. What do we have in here? Bench carving. Why there is a exclamation mark? What am I missing? So they are not completed yet, I would say. And investigate crime scene. There's something I can connect in here. Fallen suit.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of...
She must have used the cleaning rag to reach into the chimney, keeping her hand suit free. Inspect the chimney. Yeah, I will go check that. So we have something in here, definitely, which I can connect at the moment. What is it? Hmm. Not from a look.
Come, my little grey cells. We must...
It's probably something obvious. Oh, why are these blinking? Does it mean I need to connect these? Theft fits...
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Oh, so does it start to blink those things if you took your sweet time? Would Madame seize the opportunity in attempt to improve and continue to hide her financial woes? It cannot be a coincidence that what... Sorry. Yeah, yes, maybe it starts to blink those after a while. Do I have some settings I can change? Deduction hints, I'm guessing it's that. I'll probably have to check if I take that off, or maybe not. No, wrong button. So we've done everything in here except inspect the chimney, where the stuff might be. Almost certain about it. This is going to be a longer episode than I thought, because yeah, I thought this was some fast episode, but let's see. I wonder if Mademoiselle Angeline noticed Madame's abrupt depart. Okay, but let's check the fireplace. I suppose this is one of such occasion when I must literally get my hands dirty. And here is the bracelet. It was carefully concealed inside a rectangular metal tin. Maybe she was trying to hide the bracelet in a fear that the Cassandra would sell it. Well, let's see. So, Angelina, explain yourself.
The longer you're here, the further the criminal goes with my bracelet. But by all means, fire away.
Would you say that your maman is happy with your own Florida? If you'll entertain my curiosity, would you tell me about your father? Interesting. Okay, let's... Florette?
Maman is never happy with anything these days. Also, Florette does have a habit of not doing things exactly how Maman wants them done.
Yeah.
And how does she react when she sees Florette not doing things the correct way?
Maman has the temperament of a kicked cat. Florette has often been on the wrong side of it.
That is how she responded today?
She was shouting at her, and when Florette would not admit she took the bracelet, Maman really lost her temper. I have not seen her that angry before.
If you'll entertain my curiosity, would you tell me about your father?
Maman never wants to talk about him. She says it's too hard, but she acts more like she doesn't even care he's gone.
I'm sure that is not the case. It must have been very hard for her, for you both.
I miss him every day. He always knew how to put a smile on my face. I remember how much fun we would have, all three of us. In the summer, Father and I would play hide and seek while Maman read. She always helped me though whenever it was his turn to hide. I would stand in the gazebo, cover my eyes and count, and when I turned, he was nowhere to be seen. Maman would lower her book and flash a look towards his hiding spot. After I found him, he clapped and cheered as though I had won a gold medal.
Okay.
When I was hiding, it didn't matter where I was. He could never find me. I always thought I was an expert hider, but when I think back now, I know he was letting me win. He always said my smile was prize enough for him. He always knew just what to say.
I'm sure he would want you to be smiling today, even under such circumstances.
Having heard her story, I can begin to see why he's so missed. It's a tragedy, the loss of a loving father and husband.
You have been of great help to my investigation, mademoiselle. I will do everything I can to find the culprit and return your bracelet.
Weird thing is, we couldn't talk about the bracelet to her at the moment. So there's something to connect, yes. Wait, what? Formal suit.
What a revelation!
I find the thought of Shat's plan cloaked in secrecy rather romantic, but the secrecy continues to perturb me. We need to talk about Mademoiselle Elizabeth was planning to elope with her beloved Luke, but why would she hide such a joyous occasion? I recall her saying Madame Van den Bosch does not look fondly on staff relationship, but I cannot help but I think there is something else. Okay, we're done with that. We know her secret. Then we have investigate the crime scene. Bracelet and memento tin. What is this? Chimney? Yes. Okay, Angeline stashed her keepsakes in the chimney, precious keepsake of the Count.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Come on. Unprotected. Open. Jewelry box open. Abandoned poker. Clean rack. Broken glass. Right. Angeline stashed her keepsakes in the chimney. Okay, yeah, we know that. And I need to connect that with something. And it probably starts to show what? Broken glass, open window, open jewelry box. What else? So what do I need to connect? Angela removed the soot stain. Can I connect this with...
Is there something?
No?
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay.
Perhaps as...
Okay. Oh, now it's blinking. Yeah. Someone forced the wind.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Yeah, I doubted myself. I didn't realize I need to... Yeah, okay. That's a stage burglar. Let it go so far. It's totally unacceptable. I cannot believe I will Mademoiselle Angela to deceive me so for long. I hiding the bracelet inside the chimney and staging a burglary, all part of the calculated and devious plan. I should bring this investigation to an end. Enough of my time has already been wasted, but I will not be satisfied until I know why. Yeah, but first things first, I'm not gonna talk to her because I want to talk to Elizabeth. I thought we would confront her right away because the box said that Angelina hid the box in the chimney, so I didn't realize I need to... I thought it was plain obvious that she also faked the burglary. But you first.
Certainly, officer.
You seemed rather excited earlier to mention Romeo and Juliet.
How could I not be? I may not enjoy his other works, But how can one not be blown away by a story of two so deeply in love that they will risk everything just to be together?
You do realize how the story ends.
Especially being able to draw similarities between Verona's star-crossed lovers to yourself and your dearest.
But I hadn't told.
Well, it's pretty plain to see now.
Mademoiselle, I am an officer of the law. It is my duty to uncover the truth.
Please, you cannot say anything to Madame. She is against staff relationships of any kind. In her eyes, a relationship between staff is nothing more than a distraction.
But he means so much more to you.
Oh, officer, I have found my soulmate.
Okay.
At first, it was nothing more than pleasantries around the grounds. But that quickly changed. I know it's not proper for a young lady to pursue a gentleman. But once I knew his feelings reciprocated my own, why shouldn't I have followed my heart?
Love transcends professional and societal rules.
The mere thought of him was enough to make me blush. But I knew that Madame would never give her blessing. If we wanted to continue, we would have to do so in secret. The summer evenings here are just so beautiful. I often find myself walking around the grounds after my daily duties are complete. And it was one such evening that Luke was waiting for me at the gazebo. He looked ever so handsome. And the poem he had prepared. He had barely started reading and I was already a blubbering mess.
Blubbering mess.
Standing there beneath the warm glow of the falling sun, he asked for my hand, and I gave him my heart with no hesitation. Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I've been chattering on for so long. You have much more pressing matters than to listen to me rambling aimlessly.
You are correct, madam. Sorry.
One should never apologize for such a charming and bewitching story of love. But you are correct. While the culprit still eludes us, my work is not yet complete.
The love Mademoiselle Elizabeth and Luc share is obvious, and yet she remains respectful of Madame's ruling, no matter the ridiculous nature of it. I cannot see her defying her code and stealing the bracelet. The investigation continues. We already know who stole the bracelet. Well, not stole, he did. I am ready to address the house. I believe it's time the truth behind the missing bracelet was revealed. Not yet.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your assist...
Oh, because I want to talk... Go in. I want to talk Angelina before the denouement. Or something like that. And this is going to be a long episode. What you gonna do? Go upstairs, please. I don't know what happened there. I thought I clicked the right place. But if I can, I would like to know. I'm guessing she was afraid that the mother would sell the jewelries also. And so she decided to hide.
The longer you are here...
You have been of great help to my investigation, mademoiselle.
Okay, so I cannot talk to her. Oh, there's something... Wait, what? Oh, I need to confirm Floret has... Cassandra became aggressive with Floret. Do I connect these two?
Magnifique.
All signs are pointing to Floret being treated rather harshly by Madame. Would Madame escalate such mistreatment? It's... Nope. Floret is mistreated by Madame.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
And talk to Floret. Wait, what's happening? Her incarceration happens to be the latest in series of abuses by the Madame. I have no doubt in young Floret's innocence. What I do doubt is the behavior of Madame Van den Bosch. If what I have heard is true, her treatment towards Floret is disgraceful. So we're done with this. Okay. First things first, Floret, then Elizabeth. Apparently I just did this without no reason. I thought we could talk to her. But yes, let's go talk to Floret. So you can leave things undone before you and when you are solving the problems. So let's go and talk to Florette. Let's see what she has to say now.
Anything to show you I didn't do it. And
this is not the first time Madame Van den Bosch has taken her anger out on you, is it?
She never used to be such a witch. When the Viscount was alive, she was much nicer. He was the head of the house, he gave the orders, and he treated us right. I would have gone long ago, monsieur, but my family can't afford for me to be picky about my employment.
I was not aware you were supporting your family, and at such a young age.
We kinda already did.
Papa lost his job at the factory just before he left for good, so Maman had to work even more. I was old enough, so I went to work. When I joined the Van den Bosch house, the Viscount was very kind. I didn't think he would care, but he wanted to help. He gave me some extra in my first pay pack, enough to keep the landlord from kicking Mama out at least. No one had ever been that nice before. I didn't know what to say, but all he wanted me to do was work hard for her. He even let me to go home and visit Mama and my brothers at Christmas with a food parcel from the kitchen. Mama said she had never seen so much food. It's always been hard for her. Even before he left for good, Papa wasn't around much, and even when he was, we both wished he wasn't. My brothers were too young to remember what he was like, I hope. When I walked in Mama's house, everything seemed so much smaller. I must have got too used to the size of this house. I swear, you could fit our house in just this lounge. We didn't have much, but we didn't want for much. It was simple and it was home.
The valuables in the house do not determine the love it shares.
Someone should tell Madame that. Not that she'd listen anyways.
I will uncover the truth of what happened today, mademoiselle. That, I promise you.
The Viscount's kind nature shines through again. His treatment of the staff is quite a contrast from that of the Madame's. From the way this young mademoiselle speaks of her family, I cannot believe she would risk her employment at the house and put them into even worse position. Well, we already know who's the
Merci. I shall take everything you have told me into consideration.
Again, we already know everything, so I think there's nothing else to do except to go and talk to Elizabeth. Maybe you could try to end... I don't know if you could end the... Well... no, I don't. Basically, we couldn't end this scene until we knew who did it, so I guess there's no possibility to make a mistake on the accusation, at least in this prologue. But you could leave Elizabeth's story probably off, and definitely that's sad story. But let's end this.
Certainly, officer.
I'm ready to address the house. I believe it's time the truth behind the missing bracelet was revealed.
You have found the culprit and the bracelet.
Both.
Everything will be revealed in good time. Would you be so kind as to gather everyone in the lounge?
Of course.
Merci, Mademoiselle Elizabeth, for gathering everyone. Will Madame Van den Bosch be joining us shortly?
She stormed past me not long ago, and I have not seen her return.
Very well. Under usual circumstances, I would wait, but I think we have spent enough time on this matter, n'est-ce pas? We shall have to proceed without her.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This morning started like any other, my usual ordinary patrol, until I was approached by Mademoiselle Elizabeth about a suspected burglary and a missing bracelet.
A crime I've been falsely blamed for.
That I shall come to. I began my investigation outside, but it was not long before I realized there were no signs of an intruder, so I turned my focus to those in the house. You. Florette, your time here at the house has not always been the easiest for you, shall we say?
Understatement.
I do what Madame tells me.
And to the highest standard, I presume.
Madame's standards are very high. I do my best.
And you would at least expect fair treatment for the work, not to be spoken to in such a cruel and vicious way.
Monsieur?
I refer to how poorly Madame Van den Bosch treats you. You are at her beck and call, and she does nothing but belittle you.
That is Maman you're talking about. Just wait until...
It is nothing but the truth I speak, mademoiselle. All the while, mademoiselle stands by and does not even notice such cruelty. That must have angered you. Perhaps you thought it was time they deserved some retribution.
Stop trying to put words in her mouth.
There, no more. We are going through everybody else until we finally end up with the culprit, okay?
I am merely giving her a voice, one that has been silenced for so long.
Maybe I do think she deserves it. She's had the world handed to her on a plate, and the likes of me get nothing.
A motive begins to rear its head.
You're just trying to get me to admit to something. Well, I've done nothing.
I know.
Allow me to finish. I am sure you will want to hear what follows. Let us return to this morning.
You were tasked fetching breakfast from the town for the house. As well as fetching the breakfast for the house, you took another task on, which ended up delaying you further.
I was only trying to help Lizzie.
You must have known how Madame would have reacted to your late return, especially with her prior treatment of you.
She's angry at whatever I do.
But nonetheless, you were willing to help a colleague, a friend, knowing what the repercussions could be. And that show of loyalty to your friend has been the thing that proved your innocence.
Monsieur?
Because of such willingness to help, you were delayed in town, meaning you had no viable way of taking the bracelet from Mademoiselle Angeline's room. There was simply no opportunity.
Yes.
I told you! Maybe now Madame will believe me.
Let's hope so.
It is evidence not even she can ignore. Which then leads us to Mademoiselle Elizabeth.
To be honest, Madame Cassandra could ignore anything if she likes. But anyways, let's go with the Elizabeth.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth, you have been with the Van den Bosch family for quite some time now, correct?
That is correct.
You have grown close with both ladies of the house and your fellow members of the house staff, would you say?
Of course. And I certainly hope they feel the same.
And yet there are still secrets that are kept from them, but there are still certain private matters they are not aware. Both are the same. Yes.
Officer, please.
Elizabeth, what is he talking about?
I am referring to the lengths Mademoiselle Elizabeth has gone to remain in your maman's employment.
It is Madame's house. She can enforce whatever rules she chooses.
Even if they are going against the very nature and cornerstone of man, to love.
I still do not understand.
Yes.
Perhaps that is best for everyone. It is neither my place nor my want to make this situation any more awkward than it needs to be.
You made it quite awkward already.
Oh, thank you.
Besides, it was not that story that cleared Mademoiselle Elizabeth's name. Rather, Florette's.
Florette's? But she was not here for most of the morning.
But when she was, more precisely while preparing the table in the lounge, she noted that, against regularity, you arrived alone for breakfast, without Mademoiselle Angeline by your side.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
It means that I found myself with two suspects with potential motives. But with a lack of opportunity, I was left with only one. Mademoiselle Angeline.
You can't believe I would hide my own bracelet.
It is the only explanation that remains, but perhaps Florette would be more satisfied hearing the truth from you. I think it's time for the truth to be told. This masquerade has gone long enough. It is the explanation that remains, but perhaps Florette would be more satisfied hearing the truth from you. Yeah, let's go with that.
I have nothing to say.
I would rather allow a faithful member of your staff to take the blame. You would rather allow your faithful member of the staff to take the blame for your juvenile and adolescent actions. You acted out of fear. It is nothing we have not all done before. I am surprised at your lack of compassion. I see the apple doesn't... let's go with the you acted out of fear.
How dare you speak to me like that? You have no idea what you're talking about.
I know that losing your father at such a young age must be horrific and terrifying. Perhaps I don't, but your mama does. She's someone you could confide in. Let's go with the first one.
You can't actually believe I would hide my own jewelry.
If you didn't, explain to me how your memento tin with the bracelet inside came to be lodged inside the chimney of your bedroom fireplace.
You have no proof I put it there.
I do.
Besides you being the only one in the room alone, even after finding the bracelet, I still did not know why you had done it. Until I contemplated why Madame was selling so many heirlooms and art.
You had no right to snoop through our house in the first place.
Of course I did. I was trying to solve the crime.
When it is part of my investigation, I have every right, mademoiselle. The unpaid bills and final notice from the telephone company.
Maman can do what she wants with her art. That means nothing.
But when there was no more art to sell, what then? You could not risk her taking your father's bracelet and selling it. So, you staged a burglary pretending it had been taken, preventing her from selling it. Then you stood back as the innocent Florette paid the price.
She didn't think about me at all. She was going to take my bracelet and sell it off. It would have just ended up on some old wrinkly wrist. I didn't think Maman would blame her. I didn't think she would do anything.
But she did. And somehow that evidently didn't cross your mind. When Madame returns, you shall have it all to explain.
Maman can't know what I have done. She will be furious.
But Mademoiselle Florette will be proved innocent. And that is what is important. No crime has been committed, so I see no reason why this should continue any longer. It is time you considered the consequences of your actions. And now, you must face them head on.
Maman, you're home.
Of course I am. And I've brought someone that will bring some order to this chaos.
Of course. Major Felix Hagen. He may hold the rank of Major in the British Army, but I question his authority here at all. Well, yeah, he definitely doesn't have authority. In police matters, I am the authority. This is my investigation, and I will not have Madame dictating the results any longer.
Major, I can assure you I have this situation under control.
From what I have heard, you are far from it.
The missing bracelet has been found, and the guilty party has been identified.
I am well aware that the maid-servant was behind it all, and yet I see her standing as free and innocent as you and me.
Right, yes, that sort of a chap.
I am sure Madame van den Bosch has informed you of her suspicions, but I'm afraid it was merely speculation.
Excuse me?
After conducting a full investigation, the evidence and facts led me to deduce...
Mademoiselle Florette could not have taken it as she was in town most of the morning, including the time the bracelet was taken. Mademoiselle Angeline hid the bracelet as she had her reasons. I'll go with this first one.
I certainly hope you are not accusing my daughter of...
I'm sorry, Maman. He's right. Florette is innocent. I just wanted to show you.
Shh, girl. I will not have you guilted into taking the blame for that sticky-fingered girl.
Sticky-fingered girl? Madame van den Bosch refuses to acknowledge even a fraction of what has really taken place. I shall not let this continue any longer. Madame van den Bosch, perhaps it would benefit you to hear Mademoiselle Angeline's. Any guilt your daughter feels should be only from her actions today. But let's go with the first one.
Perhaps it would benefit you to remember you are nothing more than a simple officer of the law.
Yes, I'm the officer of the law. There hasn't been any crime.
Officer Poirot, a word.
Oh, great. What now?
Madame van den Bosch was forced to make her way to inform me, alone, I might add, of the goings-on at the house today.
Major, with all due respect, she was impeding the investigation.
This may be how some officers act in the city, but here we show respect to our citizens. You are an officer of the law and should act as such. Insubordination like this will not be tolerated.
As the ranking officer, I have conducted my investigation and...
Ranking officer? Ha! You are an auxiliary officer. You have little authority over anyone, let alone a major. You would be wise to remember who is close friends with your commanding officer. After what I have heard of your past in the city, I'm sure he would look upon today's events as another failure at the hands of Officer Poirot.
As absurd as this has begun, I must select my battles more tactfully. I can only hope the captain at the station will see things with some sense.
Oui, Major.
Now I suggest you do your duty and escort the maidservant to the station where she can be formally charged and a sufficient punishment handed out.
Really?
Right away.
Right.
I'm sorry, mademoiselle. This is not the outcome I expected.
Maman was right. We'll always pay the price for the upper class's actions.
Off with her head. Off with her head.
We will do everything we can to clear your name.
What can you do now? Madame said I'm guilty of a crime and I'll be punished. That's that.
A crime that was never committed. Once the truth is explained, this wrong shall be set right.
Angeline did not intend for you to be arrested. Surely you know her better than that.
I should have known better than to expect anything else. Justice and fairness don't reach the likes of me.
This young lady has already faced so much mistreatment at the hands of Madame van den Bosch. I shall not allow her punishment to continue.
What you saw today was not justice. In the eyes of the law, you are innocent and have been harshly treated and wrongly accused. No one will be going to jail.
But that doesn't help my employment, does it?
You don't want to work with her at all anymore?
That I cannot save. But your freedom, I shall make sure of that.
And innocence, obviously. I feel like an imposter dressed in the police clothing. I was brought here today as a representative of the law, and any shred of authority I had was dashed at the hands of the major. I refuse to allow a justice to waver and for it to become nothing more than a handout for those that wish to play it as and when they choose. This is not the first time I have seen the law bent to fit one's purpose, but it will certainly be the last time I fail to stop it.
Detective Poirot, I trust this finds you well. It has been many years since our paths last crossed, and while I'm sure your recollection of the events may differ from mine, I hope that receiving this letter has not rekindled a sense of animosity toward myself or the Van der Bosch name. The impression you made is something that has stayed with me since that day. It compelled me to reconsider the spoilt young lady I would have inevitably become and helped shape me into the woman I wished to be. You made me see the childish and selfish girl in me that did not consider the consequences of her actions or how they may affect others. Although Maman may see the events of that day differently, I believe the compassion you showed for our mate Florette, as well as the drive to uncover the truth and accept no alternative, was a testament to your character and professionalism. Although I wish it were under different circumstances, your assistance is once again required, and I hope you will consider this as my formal request for your service. This forthcoming weekend was due to be one full of joy and happiness at the announcement of my engagement to Gideon Demir, whom I love dearly, bringing together two illustrious families, but it has been shadowed by deceit, extortion, and blackmail. The Van der Bosch name is being held to ransom by a mysterious party, and I am afraid I do not know who I can and cannot trust. We are holding a small gathering to celebrate our exciting news with what Maman calls the dignified elite, those that are well respected and held in high regard in both our close inner circle and society. Our private matters have always remained just that, so I fear one of those invited may be the person who is out to ruin our name, but for reasons I cannot fathom. I have enclosed a first-class rail ticket for you to join us for the announcement, and having contacted your superiors and the correct authorities to request your assistance, which they were more than happy to grant me, I shall expect your arrival with great anticipation. There shall be a carriage waiting for you at the station to bring you directly to Mnemosyne House. I thank you in advance in our time of crisis. Yours respectfully, Angeline van der Bosch.
Well, that's interesting. So, how is Floret connected to this? I guess we will hear about her. She had siblings too. So, maybe one of those are connected here. But that I have finally arrived. My priority is to get out of this bitter cold before I freeze completely. Yes, that is that. New minimap unlocked, thank you. I must not get distracted by the celebrations. I was brought here to uncover the identity of Mademoiselle Angeline's blackmailer, and that is exactly what I shall do. Case of blackmail. The Van den Bosch family are being blackmailed. I must help Mademoiselle Angeline to get the bottom of this case. Where did this crime occur? Mnemosyne House. When? How? Documents, police orders. Orders to investigate the matter of blackmail. Van den Bosch. Can I expand it? Yes. Detective Poirot, your services are required at Mnemosyne House. The Van den Bosch family have formally requested your assistance with regards to a reported case of blackmail. Local enforcement have confirmed several accounts of blackmail in the area over recent weeks, and an investigation into potential links is already underway. This is of highest priority, and you are expected at the house immediately. On a personal note, you are representative of the police force and are expected to act appropriately. Do not allow past experiences with the Van den Bosch family to affect the investigation. Chief Inspector Gaub. And then there's the letter. The impression you made something. I think this is we already heard. Mnemosyne House. Yours respectfully. Okay. And why? What? And who is the culprit. But that is for the next episode. Whoa, this was a longer episode than I thought. I thought the prologue would be very fast and very quick. But on next episode, we'll start to uncover about the blackmailing and inevitable a murder, because that's how it always goes. And interesting to see how the Floret or some of her relations, siblings or somewhat are maybe connected. Maybe we find out something more about that, what happened to her. But to be honest, I don't think she will be behind the murder. That would be too obvious. Or maybe not. But anyways, that's it for the next episode. And I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.